Dear students, welcome to this digital lecture series. The topic of today's discussion is quantum mechanics, and in that we are going to see photoelectric effect, the quantum mechanical explanation of photoelectric effect. And remember, this explanation on the basis of quantum mechanics had won the Nobel Prize for the famous scientist Einstein in the year 1921. Just to remind what is photoelectric effect, the emission of photoelectrons from the surface of a metal when light radiations are incident on the metal surface is called photoelectric effect, and the emitted electrons are called the photoelectrons. Now we have seen that photoelectric effect is frequency dependent. There was a minimum frequency nu0 below which no photoelectric effect takes place, and the photoelectric effect was found to take place only if the frequency nu of the incident radiation is greater than the frequency nu0. The photocurrent flows only if the incident frequency nu is greater than the threshold frequency nu0. So it is seen experimentally that the photocurrent does not flow up to certain frequency nu0, which was called the threshold frequency. If the incident frequency nu is less than the threshold frequency nu0, no photocurrent was observed, means photoelectric effect does not take place. And if the incident frequency nu is greater than threshold frequency, photocurrent was observed, means photoelectric effect takes place. Thus, photoelectric effect was found to be frequency dependent. It depends on the frequency of incident radiation, and the threshold frequency, it was found to be a characteristic of the material. But what was the failure? According to classical mechanics, the emission of photoelectrons from the metal surface, it depends only on the intensity of the radiation and not on the frequency. The dependence of photoelectric effect on the frequency, which was experimentally observed, could not be explained by classical physics. Then we have seen that if light radiation of different frequencies nu1, nu2, nu3 such that nu1 is less than nu2 is less than nu3 is incident on the metal surface, then the corresponding stopping potential, they were different. See here in the figure, the stopping potential VO1 corresponding to frequency nu1 is less than the stopping potential VO3 corresponding to the frequency nu3, and here the frequency nu1 is less than nu3. So what was observed? That light of lower frequency has smaller stopping potentials, and the light of higher frequency has higher stopping potential. Thus, the stopping potential was found to be dependent on the frequency of incident radiation. The stopping potential was found to be proportional to the frequency of incident radiation. Means, if the incident radiation has less frequency, the stopping potential was smaller. And if the incident frequency was larger, then the stopping potential was also larger. But what according to the classical mechanics? According to classical mechanics, the stopping potential should depend only on the intensity It should be independent of the frequency. Again, the dependence of stopping potential on the frequency of incident radiation, which was observed experimentally, could not be explained classically on the basis of classical mechanics. Then we have seen that the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons depends on frequency. If the frequency of incident radiation is large, then kinetic energy of the photoelectrons was large. And if the frequency is small, the kinetic energy of the incident radiation was also small. But what was classical view? According to classical theory, the kinetic energy should again depend on the intensity and it should not be dependent on the frequency. So this was a failure on part of classical mechanics, that it could not explain the dependence of kinetic energy of photoelectrons on the frequency. And lastly, photoelectric effect was found to be an instantaneous process, a sudden process. There was no time lag between the light radiation falling on the metal surface and the emission of photoelectrons from the metal surface. But what was the classical view? According to classical mechanics, when light falls on the surface, the electric component which is present in the light wave, it interacts with the electrons, transfers its energy to the electron, and then the electron will be emitted. So this process should take some time, and hence classically photoelectric effect was not a sudden or instantaneous process. Now thus we have observed that there were some failures on part of classical mechanics, that it could not explain the certain aspects of the experimentally observed photoelectric effect. Now these failures were removed on the basis of quantum mechanics. Now before that, let's see what were the assumptions in quantum mechanics. According to quantum mechanics, light of frequency nu consists of large number of particles called photons, and each photon has energy E is equal to h nu. The photons travel with the speed of light, and whenever light is incident on the metal surface and photoelectric effect takes place, then one photon collides with one electron, and during this process of collision there is transfer of energy between them. Now when the photon of energy E is equal to h nu is incident on the metal surface, there is a collision between the photons and the electrons. Transfer of energy takes place between them. As the energy of the electron increases, they become free and are emitted out from the metal surface. This gives rise to the photoelectric effect. This was the quantum mechanical explanation of photoelectric effect. But we know that the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. They are bound to the nucleus by Coulomb's force of attraction. So it cannot come out of the metal surface all by itself. Some external energy is to be supplied to bring these electrons out of this metal surface. Now the minimum energy that is required for the electrons so that it overcomes this Coulomb's force of attraction and just comes to the surface of the metal is called the work function W0, or in some books it is denoted by omega 0. And this work function omega 0, it is denoted by omega 0 is equal to h nu 0, where nu 0 is the threshold frequency and the work function, it depends on the material. When the light radiation of frequency nu, where photons are having the energy E is equal to h nu, is incident on the metal surface, then some part of the energy is used as the work function for the electron, so that the electron is brought to the surface of the metal and is emitted out. And what happens to the remaining part of the energy? That remaining part of the energy, it forms the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectrons. So incident energy, it is sum of two energies. One is the work function and another is the kinetic energy of the photoelectron. Mathematically, it can be represented as the incident energy h nu is equal to work function omega 0 plus half m V max square. Here omega 0 is the work function and half m V max square is the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron. Equation 1 is famously known as the Einstein's photoelectric equation. Now, since work function can also be given as omega 0 is equal to h nu 0, where nu 0 is the threshold frequency, equation 1 can also be written as h nu is equal to h nu 0 plus half m V max square. That is equation 2. And it is another form of photoelectric equation. So we will, using this equation, we will try to explain the experimental observations in photoelectric effect. The first was that photoelectric effect depends on frequency. So consider the photoelectric equation. Now if we rearrange the terms, we get that the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron, it is equal to h nu minus nu 0, where nu 0 is the threshold frequency and it depends on the material. Now from equation 3 it is observed that if the incident frequency nu is less than or equal to nu 0, then the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons will be either 0 or negative, but energy cannot be negative. So we will have to take that for nu less than nu 0, the energy becomes 0. So if nu is less than nu 0, we get that the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons becomes 0. What does this mean? It means that if the frequency of incident radiation is less than the certain minimum frequency nu 0 called the threshold frequency, then the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons becomes 0. It means photoelectrons are not emitted from the surface. And since photoelectrons are not emitted, the photocurrent becomes 0, means photoelectric effect does not take place. The photoelectric effect is absent if the incident frequency nu is less than nu 0. This shows that the photoelectric effect is strongly dependent on the frequency of incident radiations. Secondly, we see the dependence of photoelectric effect on intensity. Now we have seen that photoelectric effect takes place if the incident frequency nu is greater than certain threshold frequency nu 0, whatever may be the intensity of the radiation. So this shows that the photoelectric effect does not depend on intensity. So what is the effect of intensity on photoelectric effect then? We have observed that if the intensity of the incident radiation is more, then the photocurrent is more. Now why this is taking place? If the intensity of the incident radiation is more, it means that light radiation has more number of photons, and when such a intense light radiation is falling on the metal surface, then more number of photons will interact with more number of electrons, and hence more number of photoelectrons will be emitted out of the metal surface. If more number of photoelectrons are emitted, it means the photocurrent increases. Thus, if the frequency of incident radiation is greater than threshold frequency nu0, then more intense light radiation will produce more photocurrent, and less intense light radiation will produce less photocurrent. That is the only effect on the photocurrent due to the intensity. Thirdly, dependence of kinetic energy on frequency. We have observed that if the incident frequency is large, kinetic energy is large, and if the incident frequency is less, kinetic energy is less. So once again, from the Einstein's photoelectric effect, kinetic energy is equal to h, nu minus nu0. H is the constant, Planck's constant. So if we remove it, we can write that kinetic energy is proportional to the difference nu minus nu0, where nu is the incident frequency, nu0 is the threshold frequency. Now out of this, some part out of the incident energy h nu, some part forms the work function, and the remaining part, it forms the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron. So if incident frequency nu is large, then this difference in the bracket nu minus nu0, it will be large. And we have seen that kinetic energy is proportional to the difference nu minus nu0. If incident frequency nu is large, then nu minus nu0 will be large. Hence the kinetic energy, according to equation 4, the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron will be large. Hence, larger frequency gives larger kinetic energy to the emitted photoelectron. And if the incident frequency is less, then the kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectron will be less. Thus, the kinetic energy of the photoelectron that is emitted from the metal surface, it strongly depends on the incident frequency. In the fourth, we see the dependence of stopping potential on the kinetic energy. How did we get the stopping potential? We have obtained a photocurrent in the photoelectric effect. Then we have reversed the polarity to make that photocurrent zero. And the reverse or retarding potential minus Vs that was applied to get the photocurrent zero, it was called the stopping potential. Now we have seen that the kinetic energy is proportional to the difference nu minus nu0. Kinetic energy depends on the frequency of the incident radiation. If frequency is large, kinetic energy will be large, and if it is small, the kinetic energy will be small. Now, incident energy h nu, it is used in two parts. Small part of it is used as a work function to move the electron to the surface so that it gets emitted, and the remaining part forms the kinetic energy. Now at stopping potential, the kinetic energy of the most energetic electron has become zero, so that the photocurrent has become zero. And it has become zero by application of a negative or a retarding potential minus Vs. Now, at the stopping potential, the kinetic energy of electron is half m v max square, that is equal to 0. And at that instant, when you have applied a voltage minus Vs, the energy of the electron is minus E into Vs. Now at stopping potential, the kinetic energy has become 0 because we have applied a voltage in an opposite direction or of reverse direction. Now in this case, the kinetic energy, it is just equal to the energy gained by this electron due to the applied voltage Vs. If you consider just the magnitude, then at stopping potential, the kinetic energy is just equal to the energy due to the applied retarding potential Vs. Now, if the kinetic energy of the electron is more, then we require more retarding potential to make its energy 0 or to stop it so that the current becomes 0. And if the kinetic energy is less, then we require less stopping potential. So what can we conclude from this observation? That the stopping potential, it depends on the kinetic energy. More kinetic energy, more stopping potential is required. Less kinetic energy, less stopping potential is required. So we can conclude that the stopping potential is proportional to the kinetic energy of the photoelectron. But in equation 5, we have seen that the kinetic energy of the photoelectron depends on the frequency. So if we make use of equation 5 and equation 7, what can we say? Stopping potential is proportional to kinetic energy and kinetic energy is proportional to the incident frequency. So we can conclude that the stopping potential is proportional to the incident frequency nu. Hence, we can conclude that stopping potential depends on the frequency nu of the incident radiation. Less frequency, less will be the stopping potential. More frequency, more will be the stopping potential. And finally, to see the instantaneous nature of photoelectric effect, classically, when light falls on the surface, the electric component of the wave interacts with the electron, then imparts energy to the electron, then the electron will be emitted. This requires some time. So, photoelectric effect should not be an instantaneous process. But according to quantum mechanics, light consists of large number of particles. They are called photons, and photons have particle nature. Each photon has energy E is equal to h nu. When light containing a large number of photons is incident on the metal surface, then there is a collision between the photons and the electrons, and there is immediate transfer of the energy to the electrons within 10 raised to the power minus 9 seconds. So within a very fraction of a second, the energy is transferred from the photons to the electrons. So electrons now gain the energy and quickly they are emitted out of the metal surface. And see how much amount of the time is required for all this process? Just 10 raised to the power minus 9 seconds, which is a very, very small fraction. Hence, there is no time lag between the falling of the light radiation and emission of the photoelectrons. Hence, we can conclude that photoelectric effect is an instantaneous process. It is a sudden process. It is instantaneous in nature. Thus, all the points of experimentally observed facts that could not be explained by classical mechanics, they were explained by quantum mechanics by making use the Planck's quantum hypothesis. So that's all about the quantum mechanical explanation of the photoelectric effect. Have a nice day.